This is the tutorial for making yogurt. You need milk, and you also need a starter yogurt. I use the Kirkland Greek. And then you'll need a little nut bag so that you can strain it and make it Greek in the end.
The first step is to pasteurize the milk. So you push the yogurt button, adjust to boil mode, and then you'll fill this pan up to the line here with milk.
You can use whole milk or you can use nonfat milk. It doesn't matter. You can make in the quantity you want either. Don't worry about it. Put the lid on and close it tight and then set the seal so it will pressure cook. Now, that's all.
You want the yogurt to get to 180 degrees. So after it's done, you release the steam. A little steam may come out. Remove the lid. And here you'll get a waterproof thermometer like the one I have and just stir it up and make sure that it's close to 180. I think here it'll show it's 172. I call that close enough. If it's 150, cook it again. With the milk pasteurized, you're now ready to cool it down to a level where the bacteria in the yogurt can reproduce. That's between 104 and 111 degrees. Fill the sink with cold water, bring the milk over and stir it, and it'll slowly cool. Maybe 3 to 5 minutes it'll cool to a level that's appropriate. You're going to need that thermometer because if it's too hot, the bacteria will not reproduce. Okay, now it's at 111 degrees. You can go ahead, pull the thermometer out, pull this out of the water. You don't want it to get much lower than 104, so you want to do this fairly quickly. And then you'll pull a cup of milk out of there, stick it in the bowl, mix it up with about a tablespoon of yogurt. I'll just spoon that in there and whisk it a bit. You want to whisk until there are no more clumps left in that little solution. Once you're done with that, you'll pour it into the larger Instant Pot pan full of yogurt, milk, future yogurt, and then you'll stir it in just to make sure all that bacteria is well spaced out and ready to reproduce. A wild night of bacteria romance. And then I usually stir in a little bit more yogurt because if the temperature's off even a little bit, you'll have a failed batch. If the milk is even a little bit too hot, the bacteria die. So that's why I throw a little bit extra in just in case. So you put the milk back in the Instant Pot. You turn off the release valve so it won't pressure cook. And then in yogurt mode, you switch to normal. It'll show about 8 hours, and that will give you a good batch of yogurt. 8 hours later, the alarm goes off and you'll see yogurt on the screen. That means it's ready for you to pull out and strain. Don't worry if you let it stay in a little too long. It'll be fine. The Instant Pot maintains temperature, so you'll be safe. So you release it. You'll find a lot of condensation on the top there, but don't worry about that. And hopefully you have this yogurt, little yellowy substance on top. That's the whey. Whey cool. After pouring off that initial whey on the top, I want to strain out the rest. Now you can eat this as is, and I did for a long time, but then I got a taste for Greek yogurt and got one of these nut bags. It's a synthetic one that I prefer over the cotton. About $10 on Amazon. I get a gallon size one just so I can fit all that yogurt in there. And expect to have a yield about maybe 60% of the gallon because that whey is whey prevalent in there. Now at this point, go a little longer here than I should have, but just want to show you why it's important to maybe not hold your phone under your chin as you pour yogurt. And you'll see why in about, oh, there it is. If you don't want to really babysit the yogurt as it strains, you can just kind of stick it in the fridge in this Instant Pot pan. That's what I'll usually do. It'll take about a half hour, but you can let it sit for 6 hours if you want. You want to let the whey drain out until the yogurt is at a consistency you want. Once you're at that point, I usually drain the whey out of the pan and then leave it in there for 10 more minutes just to get any extra fluid that might be in there. Hey. Alright, so as Jess was saying, there's not a lot of yogurt
This
left.
yield is not very much.
Not a great yield. I think, well, I'm not sure exactly why.
Well, he dumped out all the whey that was in it, or most, yeah.
I did lose some to the splatter of the phone. We did strain it a fair amount, although this isn't as thick as I've seen it. I usually just get a spatula to scrape all that junk off. And then, now you don't have to strain it. I hear the whey is actually kind of good for you. This is definitely a lot more creamy if you do strain it. Alright, so look at that consistency there. I've had better batches, but this is just my demo batch. You'll kind of get used to what works. Taste it, it'll taste like plain yogurt. So you can add fruit or some kind of sweetener, honey if you want. It's just a good base, something healthy to eat, get your protein. You don't have to like or subscribe. Thanks for watching.